Welcome to Psychology Hub with Dr. Rodriguez. Today I'll be reviewing 4 domains: abilities, aptitude, achievement, and interest. I'll also provide a purpose for that measure. I'll provide, again, what it predicts, the purpose, examples of certain assessments to measure that specific area or domain. And then for each one, I'll intermix a couple of different test-taking strategies. So if you're a psychology student or you're taking a psychology test and you want to understand the difference from these 4 real quick differences, quick comparisons, this is the video for you. So the first one we have is abilities. The abilities, again, is a measure. The purpose of abilities measure is to measure current level of functioning. Again, this is very important to understand current capabilities. So we want to work with individuals. We also want to know their current capabilities, right? Not everyone's suited for every role or position. We want to make sure we understand that. Examples of certain assessments or tests to measure that abilities would be the WAIS-IV, which is the Wechsler's Adult Intelligence Scale. And then for children, we have the WISC-V, which is the Wechsler's Intelligence Scale for children. Then we also have the Stanford-Binet, okay? Let's see, let me try to, alrighty, so a test memory tip would be to ask yourself, what can you do now? Remember, abilities is current capabilities, okay? Next, we have aptitude. Aptitude, the purpose of aptitude test is to predict future performance. Potential for learning, potential for training, very important. Aptitude, want to make sure someone has the ability, to perform a task, a job. An example of an assessment to measure aptitude would be the differential aptitude test, the DAT, or the ASVAB. ASVAB is for the military, as some of you may know. A test tip would be, what could you learn, right? Aptitude, what could you learn? So if you hear something within the range of what can you learn, what could they learn, you're gonna automatically think of aptitude. I'm not saying that's the answer, because you got to read the entire question. Sometimes they give you certain domains, but you got to cipher through it and get rid of erroneous stuff in test questions. Next, we have achievement. The achievement test, the purpose is measures acquired knowledge, right? Acquired knowledge, it predicts what has already been learned, okay? A few tests to assess the achievement would be Woodcock-Johnson, or the WAIT, which is the Wechsler's Individual Achievement Test 4. And the WRAT, the WRAT, which is the Wide Range Achievement Test. And last area or domain would be interests. Purpose for that would be measuring preferences, someone's preference, right? What an interest test predicts is it predicts satisfaction and choices. Some assessments can include but are not limited to the strong inventory, the self-directed search, the Campbell Interest and Skill Survey, as well as a very important one designed or created by John Holland, which he proposed 6 vocational personality types. That's the Holland-Reisnick theory. It's the RIASEC, which would be the realistic, investigative, artistic, social, enterprising, and conventional types. And then if I may, before we end, I want to add that interests versus abilities would be, interest inventories are what someone's preferences, and abilities would be current capabilities, okay? Next, we have abilities versus aptitude. Abilities, we have current cognitive functioning, and aptitude, we have more excellent potential for a specific trait topic, okay? And next we have aptitude versus achievement. Aptitude versus achievement would be, for aptitude, it would be potential for learning, learning or training, and achievement would be what has this person already learned, what do they already have. Next, we have interest and achievement. Interest would be measuring preferences. Correction. Interest measures preferences. I apologize, I'm going a little too fast here. And achievement measures acquired knowledge. We reviewed that multiple times on purpose. Remember, repetition is important for memory. Alrighty, I'm gonna do a little quick matching here. So we have abilities test is for current functioning, okay? Then we have aptitude would predict future learning, okay? Achievement identifies learned knowledge. Interest tests are seeking preferences, as well as career counseling. Also, aptitude can also assist with seeking career counseling. We also have with abilities, intelligence testing. And then I also want to add that abilities, aptitude, and achievement can assist for academic placement.